Scorpio, hello my darlings, how are you? Welcome to your reading for the week of the 25th of July 2022, or just whenever you happen to find it. That's okay too. It'll still be relevant. But it's going to be for the most part sort of limited to whatever, at the time of a week I'm trying to say. All right, so the first card I'm looking for is a card from the Chakra Insight Oracle deck. And my darling Scorpio, you have self-esteem. This is obviously sitting into that solar plexus chakra, so the colour yellow. The words on this card are self-love, confidence, self-worth, and pride. Okay, Scorpio, I wouldn't necessarily see that you are short in those things, but let's see, there could be something going on that's kind of wavered that sense of esteem for you. Let's see what's going on. The next card I'm looking for is a card from the Goddess Guidance Oracle card. There's a very liberated sense of freedom, and that's kind of what's coming through very early on, is that not that this is lacking in you, that it's more that this is where you are currently, that you're actually enjoying being in this space. Thank you, guys. You're actually enjoying this sense of knowing who you are. It may well be that for some of my Scorpios that it's taken some time for you to get to this place where you are truly self-confident, that you are really standing in your own, standing in your own authentic self. Authentic is the words coming through. The card from the Goddess Guidance Oracle is Lakshmi, bright future, and it says on here, stop worrying, everything is going to be fine. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself until we get the rest of the cards out. But obviously, that's a really great message to have. So the card from the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, is the Page of Swords. Okay. Now these cards, this guy's going in the middle. Okay. These cards offer us an overall theme for the week, an overall energy, things that we can use to tie together the rest of the reading. I did speak about when that first card came out. It is in that solar plexus chakra. It is in that standing in your authentic self, knowing who you are. And the first thing that I saw when this card came out was that bright sun and the yellow tones of the Lakshmi card here as well. So I do feel like, before I keep talking, the yellow sleeves in this card again. So yellow is the colour that's really coming out for me, for you this week. So absolutely there's this sense of stepping into that place of, and I do think pride is also a strong word for you here as well. So stepping into that power. Okay. So the energy coming into the week is the Two of Wands. And Scorpio, would you look at that again? Yellow, okay? So this is absolutely a theme for you already without having to go into the rest of the cards too much more. The next card out you have is the Lover's card. Now, I may have to rethink this layout because in the last probably dozen or so times I've done this reading, I've actually had very positive cards coming out in this position, which, I have put towards obstacles or blocks, but clearly, we'll see how it does fit in. Relationships can sometimes be an obstacle or a block, but generally that's a very strong card. It's a very positive card. You do have the Death card. This has come out in the position of surprise or a gift or a strength this week. So again, not ideally located for that card in that position, but I tend to not put too much weight on the you know, on the layout in terms of what the cards, or where the cards lie. It's more about the overall theme and how they interact with each other. You do have the Ten of Pentacles, and this has come out in the position of your health. And that's health in terms of body, mind, and soul. You've got a few cards come out here, so I am just going to take some guidance from my guides. In the relationships card, you have the King of Pentacles. And keep going. Yep. In career and finances, you have the Five of Wands. And this card, guides. No, okay, that's also, I'm being told that's also going in the career finances position. So you have the Judgment card there as well. And I am going to be looking for just one final card. I'm not sure if I introduced this deck. Apologies if I didn't. It is the Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. And as always, I have also obviously called in my guardians, guides, angels, and ancestors who love me unconditionally and are of the highest vibration. I have also set the intention that you will be connected into this reading and divinely protected at all times. The energy taking us out of the week and into potential future possibilities, whether that be next week, next month, next year, is the Two of Cups. Okay, interesting. So let's break it down a bit further. Now, I am going to stick with what I said here about the solar plexus, that idea of stepping into your authentic self this week being a fairly major theme. What I do want to add, I'm going to come back to that Two of Wands. What I do want to add is that the message that's coming through is that it may well be because of this, because you have honored yourself enough to stand in this place of self-love. It is that has or will be attracting in to you a very deep, special connection with someone. So, you know, those lovebirds are extremely loved up. As I said, it is in the position of obstacles and blocks this week. So it could be that there is a relationship, and I am going to say it could, you know, because the lovers can sometimes be a choice as well. But this particular lovers card, it is very clear. It's in relation to, you know, that very deep, special, finishing each other's sentences kind of, you know, life partner, really, love. So it could be there's something about your current relationship that is challenging you, or you've got some things to work through in terms of that. But we do end up with this Two of Cups energy here. So we do end up with you moving out of this week into future possibilities. As I said, it could be months down the track, but it is telling me that absolutely this relationship between two people is a relationship that is like no other. It's a relationship where you've possibly never felt this way before. And even if you're in a relationship at the moment, it could be that this relationship is leveling up as well. And interesting, we've got the Death card sitting in the middle of those two cards. So, you know, the Death is a transformation. We transform the deep, dark, mucky, coal, peaty stuff. It transforms into a diamond, and it comes out sparkling, and it comes out reborn. It comes out of this dark cocoon to become a butterfly. So given that Lover's card is in the obstacles position, the Death, Two of Cards, it could be that there is something about your relationship that is problematic potentially at the moment, and it does require some sort of transformation for it to move into this next level. And, you know, and I do want to talk about, again, those seahorses there. And the seahorses, for the most part, you know, they mate for life. And obviously the seahorse too, it's the father that the male in the relationship that kind of fathers the children, or I think he's actually pregnant with the children. I'm not 100% sure. I can't quite remember that. But so there may be this change in roles as well for some of my Scorpios as well. So there's something, definitely a change in situations for someone's relationship. But I'm being drawn back to this Lakshmi card. Stop worrying, everything's going to be fine. And this Page of Swords, I didn't really talk about the meaning of this card before, but the definite message that's coming through in relation to what has come through so far is that you might have some bright new ideas about how you can work through this transformation, how you can work through any obstacles or blocks that do arise. You're going to be kind of divinely guided, and you're going to have this insertion. It sounds like that's a very harsh word, but that's the word that's coming through. You're going to have this insertion of a bright idea that's going to drop in, and it almost feels like it's dropping in from the universe, from Creator, from God, whatever, whatever word you want to use, whatever your beliefs are. But it's almost like this divine inspiration of an idea of how you can navigate whatever's going on for you. You do have this King of Pentacles in the position of relationships. So again, there's somebody in this relationship who is extremely solid and reliable and grounded and practical. This King of Pentacles it's a very stable energy. And so the only thing that is kind of coming up for me a little bit is that there may be, and it may be that this block is that maybe you're concerned, or they are concerned, because it can be the other way around, that one party to this relationship is just too practical, too solid, too reliable, and someone is seeking that extra element of passion and excitement and drive. And as I said, I do get the sense that this is you, because you have figured out who you are, and there may be this little bit of this frustration that you know who you are, and you actually want to maybe, if we go, I don't know, you want to step it up, you want a little bit more passion. That's possibly for some of my Scorpios what's going on here. And we know that Scorpios are, you're extremely driven by that idea of passion and excitement and adventure. So what can we do to resolve that for you? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just getting the message that we don't need to. We need to surrender. We need to stop worrying. We need to just allow for this, for whatever's going to happen. We need to allow for this, if it is a divine insertion, I don't know why that word keeps coming up. If that resonates for anyone, please let me know, because that's a very random word to use in this instance. But, I don't argue with them. Okay. So backtracking a little bit here, I did just want to kind of talk about those, that was the clearest thing that was coming through for me in terms of messages. But I'll go back to the energy that you are coming into the week with. So the Two of Wands, there is definitely this idea of, do I stay or do I go? If you stay in a situation, it's something that is solid and reliable and secure and safe. But is that you, Scorpio? Do you want to head off down this path and find a new exciting journey? So this is kind of where you are a little bit torn this week. And I don't want to give anyone advice, but what the Two of Wands does say very often is that there is more out there, okay? if you do have the courage to put this key in this lock, and you have possession of the key and the lock, if you have the courage to take that step, that you can step into the Three of Wands, which is this whole new expansion of horizons. It's this whole new world opening up. So I don't want to tell anyone what to do, but that's the message of the Two of Wands, is that it can sometimes be an invitation for you to put the lock in the key and step out. You know, it's almost like it feels almost like a Fool card, you know, like taking that next step. There's so many different energies going on here for you. So I feel like some of these messages are for some of my Scorpios, and then some of the other messages are for the other Scorpios. So obviously the readings can't relate and resonate for everyone. So it may be obviously that part of the reading resonates for some of you, and then these other kind of new beginning energies might relate to someone else. So do take what resonates and leave everything else behind for someone else, because it will resonate for someone else. So this Ten of Pentacles, this is in the position of your health, and it is health in terms of body, mind, and soul. So you should be feeling pretty darn rockin' at the moment in terms of your health, okay? And we can see that there with that self-esteem. You know, we can see that she's absolutely rocking it in terms of her mental and emotional health. You know, she's extremely, that's almost, without being vulgar, it's almost like an orgasmic, you know, sense of confidence that this card is showing us and demonstrating. And that's the energy that I'm getting, that you are really in that space. You are really kind of nailing it in terms of that sense of self-esteem. So that Ten of Pentacles is a little bit of corroboration for that. It's this idea that you do know that you are provided for. You understand that you have everything that you need. You understand that, you know, that you've got safety. And even if that safety is not safe, you're still safe, because you know that you will be provided for in all ways at all times. So, you know, even when things come to shake us up, there is this resounding, I feel like I almost want to see the Star card there. It's this having the faith that you will be provided for, that you will be divinely supported, and you will always have enough resources. There's always an answer. So that's the message that's coming through for someone at the moment. There's always ways through. So if someone is maybe challenged by some financial issues at the moment, this is the message that's coming through, and it's not related to this particular card, because this card in itself is a message that, you know, that someone is financially secure, but that if for some reason somebody is not in this space of the Ten of Pentacles where they feel like they have enough, there's always options. And the message that's kind of coming through is that, so at the moment we're obviously seeing this, you know, kind of, you know, I guess raise in inflation, in cost of everything. You know, mortgage prices are going up if you're a homeowner, petrol, food, all of these things, and it all just seems to be adding up. But it might be that even if you feel insecure because of all these things happening around you, and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to meet these new mortgage repayments? You can maybe open up to the idea of, well, maybe my house is actually too big for me. You know, maybe it's an opportunity for me to downsize. You know, maybe I don't want all this yard maintenance anymore, and maybe I want to move into a place that's going to be a half or a third or 2/3, whatever it is. It's going to be less in terms of mortgage, and it allows an additional freedom. So it opens up other pentacles, an abundance of other resources. So time, you know, you might move to somewhere that's got better public transport or somewhere you can just walk to places, you know. So there's always this way around our perceived challenges. And as I said, completely not related at all to the position of that card in the layout of the reading, but it is a very clear message that's coming through for someone who's watching at the moment. Okay, what haven't we really touched on here? The only other cards we haven't really touched on is these two cards here in your position of your career and finances. So we have the Five of Wands and we have the Judgment card. So this is really leaning into more of a career work kind of theme rather than finances. And the sense that's coming up is that there may be in terms of your career a change, okay? Or you may have recently changed, and you may have recently heard a call to step into something that resonates with who you are a lot better. It allows you to be who you are. It allows you to be your authentic self. So it's something that you have heard the call to, and you have gone, yeah, I'm going to step into this new beginning where I can be myself and step out into the world and share myself authentically. But what you've come across is this idea of it's still going to take a lot of work, okay? So you are extremely passionate about this venture that you have undertaken. And again, it's not, I don't feel like it's beginning stages. I feel like it's something that you have already undertaken. But the Five of Wands tells me that there may be some competition in this field. You are still having to practice and figure out the best way to approach whatever it is that this new business is, or how it's going to look for you. That's the sense that I'm getting. So you're still figuring out, you're practicing, you're training hard to get to a place where, you know, to get to a place where you feel confident, okay? Now, the fives are often, you know, they're a challenging energy because they are this kind of point of, well, it's almost like a halfway energy, I guess, because the 5 is halfway to the 10. So you've got some experience under your belt, but there's still this idea of not having mastered things completely. So I just want to say, in terms of that, is to just keep going. You know, again, I almost want to see the 8 of Pentacles here. It's that keep going because it's something that you're passionate about. It's something that once you put that hard work and training and effort into, you have heard the call on this, okay? It is something that has a greater level of enrichment that it brings to your life. And for some of my Scorpios as well, I'm getting the sense that it could be something that's intuitive or something that allows you to open up intuitively, or you do open up intuitively to as part of whatever this new thing is. But thank you, guides. I'm being drawn back to the final wind-up of the whole reading is Lakshmi, okay? So we've gone a little bit around in circles, but the overall message here is it is a bright future for you. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. All right, my darling Scorpio. I do apologise. It was a little bit all over the place. Definitely, it feels like 2 separate readings going on. So if one of those storylines kind of resonates for you, then take that. If the other does, then take that. Maybe both or all of it resonates for you. Look, if you have enjoyed the reading, please do like, share and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, my friends. Bye-bye.